So next clip here is how you can actually, this is to edit also a long clip, but without doing any cuts into it, but changing the speed and using keyframes. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, so this clip, or all these clips I've used, have been shot not in 24 frames per second, which is the timeline is 24 frames per second. It's shot in 100 frames per second. That was what my camera is. So that's approximately 4 times faster than the timeline's frame rate. That means that I can slow down my speed to 25% without losing any quality. You can go a little bit lower as well. It depends on what you have shot. If you start to go below that, the quality of your clip will decrease. Especially, it's going to be a little bit. It's going to stutter. So if we just play it as it is, and you see, I have a lot of dead meat in the film here in the beginning. Nothing happens. So where you can see that some shadow here, me moving in the camera, because I was alone here, I had no assistance. But I have made some markers here. So what happens here? Water pour starts, and here says water pour ends. Here says water motion stop, focus pull in, and focus pull stop. So what I wanted to do is this. So I'll just drag it. Let's go here to start with it. So here we see I have focus on this glass over here. This is unfocus. And it says water pour start. So I'm pouring water here, boom, 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 into the glass. And you can see that the water level is rocking, and there it's all, somewhere here it stops rocking. It's almost still. Okay. So this material in between here I don't really care much for. And then what did it say here? This is water motion stop. So it's still moving, and there it doesn't stop. Just to know how to play, where I want, this is sort of information that I need to remember. And then next one says focus pull in. So here I'm pulling in, I have to take away that. So now I'm moving focus to this glass in the foreground. So what I have done here with this clip, I have done something like this. So I've already done it in this clip. But what I do is that I click Commando R and to change the speed. And where do I want to do something here. I wanted water to come in and start to go in slow motion. So then I click on this arrow here, and I can set a speed point, add a speed point. Boom. And that means that here I can change the speed. So I change it to 25%. Oh, wrong by me. So because I shot it, you see, if I run it 100%, it is slow motion. You can tell here. I want to change this, what is prior to that scene, to actually normal frame rate, which is then change speed to 400%, because I can double that. So this is the actual speed, but I also don't want all that. I don't need all that in the beginning, because here is where it started. So let's zoom in on this. So this is normal speed. Doesn't make any sense now, but when the water comes, okay, there's slow motion. And then I can just move, I can drag here, I can move this. So if we see now, you can see this is normal water pouring speed. Water like that, and then here is slow motion. And I can move that. Okay, so this is, I'm just doing it rough here. So boom, 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 normal speed, and then it goes slow. And then I maybe, okay, that looks cool. And now I want to add another speed point. I click here, add another speed point. And this I want to go back to change speed to 400. So here is slow motion, and then it's normal. But now it goes from slow motion to like from one frame to the other. You might want to make that a smooth transition, so it goes from fast and gradually slowly. What you then do is that you click somewhere in the clip, right click, and then you go here and you say retime curve. And then this opens up, and then you get the curve. And we have to zoom in here, so I'm zooming in. So you get this thing here, it says retime frame. You click on that little arrow, and we don't need to do anything with the frame. We want retime speed. And when that is done, we can go and have a look here. This is where the speed is 400%. Well, it's actually then 24 frames per second. And here's where it changes. So if I click here, you see here I get that's what's called a keyframe. This one here. And if I want it to be a smooth move, I click it on this one. No, I should like this, and you see the curve changes, and this is called a bezier. And I can make it like this, and now you can see here that it goes gradually into slow motion. And I can do the same here if I like. Sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want like just go from, and there, now it's a normal speed. So that is one way to sort of edit a video with speed. You might want to speed up a sequence and slow down. So that is something that you can do. And I'm just going to undo all that. What I normally actually do, I always keep that. What I normally do with a clip, I mean, because this had been changed. So, cut here, Gustav, cut here, fixar här. The entire clip should be back to its speed. Speed change, reset to 100. Okay, I skiter i det, Gustav. So I have taken this cut that we are using. That I have already. If I can open up so we can have a look at it. R and let's look at the retime curve, and let's look at the speed. And here we have to make it a little bit larger so we can see it. Let's open it up. So here we can see how I have altered the speed change here. So and here we go into slow motion. And over here it goes back into normal speed. But I want to see how the water is sort of bobbing here. And then we come to, then there is a focus pull. There to this glass. And water is coming into that glass. And here I'm doing the same. Here it's like normal speed here, and then you see that is slow motion. And at the end of the clip, it goes back to normal. And then here I have added another clip afterwards where I'm gonna, because you see there's a bottle there, and I had to do that in a second clip. I couldn't do all that in one go. So you see, boom, the bottle comes down, and focus is then pulling into the bottle, but then also is pulling away into the window. So there we go. And the transition I used here, this transition here, let's go to effects. I did not use, what I normally do and recommend is cross dissolve. I used what is called smooth cut. And that morphs the image a little bit. So if I just click on, you can change that by just, I'll take away, I'll start from the beginning. Cross dissolve is a normal, that's the normal. I'm going to zoom in that because we don't want to fuff around too much. So I'm going to expand it a little bit as I cross dissolve. And if you see here, it works pretty well actually. You can't tell really. I mean, if you look carefully, you can see. If you look here, for instance, you can see that it's sort of blurred. If I instead used a smooth cut, I'll just pull it on top of that one. It merges. You can see now. You can see here. If you look here, you can see that actually the water is moving. It looks like it's moving. So it's sort of, it's called a morph. And I chose that because then it stays sharper in this way. But this smooth cut is really difficult. It doesn't fit in that many clips. You have to have a stable camera or something that not much things happens. So that's what it is. And then here are normal